and welcome back to Smarmalade Plays Autumn's Journey! We're on the road, rickety road. Realizing we'd been standing around, we quickly resumed our march. As I adjusted the bag strap over my shoulder, I tried to glance discreetly into the woods. Peeps be coming, they're gonna kick us in the ass. Care, Ilmari, what's your fighting experience? He could probably take him out in dragon form. Huh! This body! Ilmari shook his head resolutely.
I'd rather not.
Ugh, he sounded so authoritative. I'm not doing anything like that. Moreover, I'm an Uranus. I wouldn't do well on land. I know some magic, so I can be a good support. I nodded, then looked at Care expectantly.
Bring it.
I'll be fine fighting directly.
Right.
At least you can walk without any problems. And I have my sword, along with some focusing techniques. At least we were balanced enough, and my focusing techniques would help me fight in optimal condition. Ilmari's ears perked up, and he shifted nervously while Care grit his teeth. They're moving swiftly. They're probably planning to launch an assault once we advance a little farther. I think they're positioning themselves by that outcrop. When we get there... He trailed off, and I made a fist, biting my lip anxiously.
Let's do this.
Alright, they think they have the element of surprise. Prepare yourselves for a fisting. Sounds like there's more than 5 now. I could feel my stomach lurch as we neared the destination, and I already had my hand on my sword hilt. And 2 other swords. Calm down, calm down. A knight wouldn't be afraid. I gulped and then chided myself mentally, shaking those thoughts from my head. I reminded myself that I was not a coward. I mentally concentrated on a spell that helped refresh and restore some vigor to my body. It would increase my strength temporarily. Once the outcrop loomed over us, there was a moment of uneasy stillness before a swift wind swept through the trees. Yeah! What? A muscle-bound man landed directly on top of the carriage, shaking it violently and causing the horses to rear up. The coachman tried to settle them down as the attacker leapt off of the vehicle, unsheathing his sword. I dashed over and directed his attention to me before he could rip off the door. Our weapons clashed, and I clenched my teeth as I successfully pushed him away from the carriage. I could hear the scuffling of feet as more men emerged from the forest, and my heart plummeted. We were outnumbered nearly 3 to 1. Not only that, all the attackers seemed too organized to be a mere bandit group. My opponent's sword fighting was refined, and their outfits too proper. Not to mention that they had followed us for some time, according to Cara Ilmari. Take that! I dodged one of his slashes and knocked him out with the blunt side of my sword. I did not want to resort to taking a life if I could help it. I saw Care lunge forward and perform an awkward curled slap to one of the guy's faces like he was in a cat fight. Rawr! It looked painful, but it was not an effective strategy. Claws. He's used to battling with claws. I tried to approach Care, but was stopped by another foe. I parried just in time, but could feel the axe whistling past my arm. That's not an axe. Care, punch them! Make a fist! What? The axeman swung again. I ducked and then charged forward, bringing up my left hand. Like this! My fist contacted my opponent's cheek, causing him to stumble back. Pain shot through my arm, and it took all my effort not to drop my sword and cradle my poor hand. Like that?
Bring it.
Right! Care delivered a hearty punch. This time it sent his opponent flying. He glanced at his fist in bafflement and a smirk appeared on his lips. Not bad! I could get used to this! As Care jumped into the fray, I could hear Ilmari apologizing loudly. A burst of water streamed forth from his dick, toppling someone who tried to run up to him. 4 down! 4 to go! A few men that had gotten back up were now second-guessing themselves, while the more stubborn ones tried a round 2. As I was engaged in another sword fight, I stepped back and felt my shoulders bump into someone. I glanced up in the heat of battle and spotted Care, who looked down at me. The heat of battle. That reminded me. I assure you the spell won't wear off from my clothes. It's just that I don't want to glance back. I don't want to glance back during, I don't know, the heat of battle and catch you stark naked. Wah, wah, wah. ... I can feel your ass. I don't want to glance back and catch a glimpse of your ass. But that's what's happening. Kara likes it. Don't let those dots fool you. Ha! Ha 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 ha. Before we could stop ourselves, we burst out laughing, causing the challengers surrounding us to look perplexed, possibly even alarmed or scared.
Please stop!
They're crazy! Why are you two laughing? Help me! Ilmari retreated to the other side of the carriage as he struggled to conjure a spell. Kara, still chuckling, knocked another man out and darted around the carriage, while I was locked with the second-to-last foe standing, even though they're all still standing in the picture. I've never known how to pronounce that word. I riposted. Yeah. I think it's French. So American. But he blocked my sword. I retaliated with a swift kick to the dick, and he stumbled back, or the stomach. His eyes darted over his fallen comrades as he slowly backed away. I pointed my sword at him, and he hastily disappeared into the forest, leaving his partners behind. Perfect timing, since I could feel my focus spell wear off. Coward. A high-pitched scream came from the carriage, and I turned to see that the door was open. One of the armed men was escaping with the box! No!
Bring it.
Not while I'm around! Nothing's gonna harm you. Not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir. Not while I'm around. Demons will turn you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you. Not while I'm around. Copyright claim. He slammed the ground with his fist, causing the whole place to shake. The whole place? They're not indoors. I knelt down, covering my head as my sword clattered harmlessly onto the soil. My knees felt like they'd liquefied, and I had to use one hand to support myself because he was so fucking manly and gorgeous that I just couldn't stop myself from falling on the ground and just touching myself all over, and Kara was like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't even know. I couldn't move, and each shock only reinforced my terror.
Please stop!
Kara, cease this at once! Did Ilmari notice I was scared? Someone just gets slapped. The man tripped from the jolts, and the box flew out of his grip. It hit the rocky terrain with a crash, causing the latch to open. I forced myself to stand up, but I was unnerved from the tremors. Every step felt wobbly. Care focused on the almost thief, who also disappeared into the woods. By the time I got to the fallen objects, Ilmari was already scooping the items back into their coffer. I saw a few feathers sticking out. Perplexed by the wares, I reached out for the box, but Ilmari slammed it shut, his face pale white. Ilmari? Ha! Closed it! It would have been unfortunate if it got damaged. It was intact?
Of course.
Yes, nothing appears broken. He gave me a strained smile. Care chased off the remaining conscious opponents, and I carefully stepped around the supine ones. A few groans were emitted, but they probably wouldn't be up for a while. Ilmari handed the box to me, as if he was eager to get rid of it. Thanks, I'll return this to Mr. Ormond. I hastily approached the vehicle and placed the box on the seat. The frightened merchant glanced up warily. We chased them off, whoever they were. He clutched the coffer, cradling it on his lap. Did you see what was inside? I forgot his voice too. No, but I'm sure the contents are safe. I closed the door and promptly asked the coachman to resume driving. I sheathed my sword, then rubbed my throbbing left hand, regretting my rash display before.